I was hired as a permanent junior designer. The company culture here was amazing. My next role was unemployment. 25k, 28k per year, £6,000 per month. So I asked for a pay rise. I started making money off of YouTube ads. The contract work really does pay off. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Lily if you're new here. I'm a web and app designer living in the UK. This is Fig. Say hi, Fig. Hi, Fig. I'm going to run you through my career progression from my first baby job when I was just starting out doing something part-time in university, all the way to now where I am a full-time freelance web and app designer and part-time content creator. I'm going to run you through each role, what I did, what the pay was. So if you're uncomfy with pay transparency, I don't know, maybe this isn't the video for you. And I'll try to remember any office goss I can think of along the way. That's what Fig's here for, isn't he? He loves the office goss. Actually, he is the king of office goss. I'll also be giving some hiring tips along the way and any advice if you're looking to get into this field as well. So my first job ever was a part-time tattoo artist at my parents' tattoo studio. I was grinding. I was trying to get those A's at uni whilst doing part-time work on the side for some money. And in this role, not only was I tattooing, but I was also helping my family with their website design. It was the seed that grew into what I'm doing right now, helping a small business with their UX and their UI. There was not really a set salary for this position. It was kind of just day by day. Sometimes I made 40 quid in a day, sometimes I made 400 quid in a day. It was very unpredictable, but I do very clearly remember being really excited when I hit my first £1,000 in my savings account. So that kind of gives you an indication of where I was in my finances. Not great. He looks like he wants to come up again. So working with your family can be fun, but stressful. So I really just wanted to get a salaried position and spread my wings, fly out the nest, get my own place, you know. But unfortunately, I graduated university during COVID. 2020. We all know what the job market was like at that time. There was no getting a job. So like 6 months go by and I'm really desperate at this stage, asking my friend if she can help me get an interview at her McDonald's branch. Desperate. One fateful day, I found a listing on Facebook for a social media marketing manager. My first red flag should have been the fact that the listing for the job was on Facebook. Like, bruh. Like, if that's not a blaring red flag, I don't know what is. But it was at a frame factory, like a picture frame factory. That whole thing lasted about a week because I was coming into work every single day and the guy who hired me kept saying he was going to get my information for the payroll and he never did. And then he'd said something about paying me under the books or off the books or something. And I was like, I'm gonna go now. You know, a free week's worth of work for me. Week's worth of work. Free 3 weeks of work. So anyway, not long after that, I interviewed for a digital developer role at a corporate print company that I found on LinkedIn. This place had like 10 people in the factory and 10 people in the office, and they needed help redesigning their website. And I was really excited about this because their website was shit. And there was so much potential for me to fix things. That was the first sort of concrete experience I had that leads me on my journey into the tech field. Getting that job in 2021 allowed me to move out of home, live on my own with my first big girl paycheck, which was 25k per year. So I was taking home around £1,600 per month. Now, I know to Americans, 25k per year, which is around 30,000 American dollars, sounds really low. I was living quite comfortably on that amount. While I was doing this job, I finally decided to start this YouTube channel. Believe it or not, I started out making finance videos that lasted about 3 videos, and then I realized that I hate talking about finance. They are all archived. Don't even bother. But I remember hitting 100 subs and being so excited, but I didn't actually make any money off of YouTube till I hit 1,000 subs. Although I was treating it as a part-time job on the side, like a weekend job. There was a lot of work I was doing for very little payoff at the start, but the payoff comes later. So back to the job, I was working there for around 1 whole year and I was very eager to impress at the start. So I was taking up a lot of extra roles and responsibilities that weren't really part of what I was meant to be doing, like designing marketing collateral, like business cards that I made a spelling mistake on, photography. I remember doing like a full-on photo shoot for the content on the website. I made it like a staff monthly newsletter. Like, they were getting their money's worth for me. And for 25k a year, I just felt like I was doing so much more work than what I was being paid for. And that's kind of the reason why I left. Another reason why I left is the culture. The manager thought pitting coworkers against each other was a good thing to do, like some sort of weird trial by fire, some hazing thing. Another thing was one time in January, the founder of the company comes over to my desk and he leans in for a kiss. I lean back and I'm like, whoa, no New Year's kiss? No New Year's kiss, 80-year-old, wrinkly old man, bald man. No, thank you. Like, I'm still mad. And then I bring it up to my manager and he goes, that's just Dave. Yeah, that was the moment that I realized I needed to leave. Every day that I came back from that job, I would sit down on my laptop and I would lock in. Fight Club, main character, villain arc, locking in. Hours sitting in my room, learning how to design, learning Figma, adding concept designs to my portfolio. Eventually I had something good enough to start sending out to people and asking for advice. And that's exactly what I did. If I had to give some job search or self-study tips to someone who's looking to get into this field, if you're looking to change your career path or make a similar transition, then I'd really recommend starting with a volunteer role or an apprenticeship or a boot camp. CourseCareers are offering a fully online and remote UX design course that teaches you the foundations of UX design and gets you job interview ready fast. For those of you who are currently working or studying, you can fit this entirely around your schedule. You can pick up a section of the course whenever you're free until you've completed it and you get your finishing certificate that you can put on your LinkedIn or your CV, and that'll definitely help in securing the role that you're looking for. Instead of going back to school and all the fees that come with going back to formal education, you can actually just do the job that you want to do. I know it sounds kind of backwards, but of course, if you're like a pharmacist, you have to study pharmacy, or a doctor, that's different. When it comes to these creative fields, whether you want to be a fully employed designer or a self-branded freelancer, a bootcamp like the one CourseCareers offers can really help you get started on that career path. And not only design, CourseCareers offers a bunch of different courses for all different kind of skill sets. So check the link in my description for the free trial. The registrations are open so you can start your UX design journey. So back to self-studying while I was working. My portfolio significantly improved during this time due to the free advice that people were more than happy to give on LinkedIn. And through this, I secured an informal interview with the head of design at a small agency. I had applied to a senior position and I knew that I wasn't qualified for that, but it did open the doorway to a conversation about a junior role. After a two-step design process where I had to show off my skill set, they opened the design role for me. Excuse me if my makeup's been smudged for like half the video. Where was I? In 2022, I was hired as a permanent junior designer and all was well with the world. I was working with big companies like Volvo, Royal London, and the nation's electricity supplier. The company culture here was amazing, a really cool design team, and I learned so much, making 28K per year. So that's closer to 40K USD. I worked for one whole year and my YouTube channel really starts popping off during this time. I went from 100 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers. I started making money off of YouTube ads and eventually I hit 10K subscribers. I was making around 100 a month from YouTube ads and around 200 to 300 from brand partnerships. Around 1 year into my product design role, I was being paid as a junior, but I was kind of working at a higher level at that point. I remember in meetings with clients, my company would tell clients that I was a mid-level, not a junior, and I was asked to keep that information to myself. And I started to ask questions like, if I'm being advertised as a mid-level, that means you're making a lot of cream off the top of what I'm getting paid. So if you're confident enough in my abilities to advertise me as a mid-level, why am I not being paid as one? So I asked for a pay rise. And then the big tech layoffs happened, mid-2023. I got a meeting request in my calendar that said at risk, and the next thing I know, I'm being locked out of my laptop along with 100 other employees. I can't access any of the work that I've done over the past year, and I couldn't say goodbye to any of my colleagues. It was ruthless. So my next role, unemployment. This honestly has to be one of the lowest points in my life. I was severely unmotivated. I was questioning everything. I had so much self-doubt. I was depressed and I had to really rely on my partner and my family just to survive. Thankfully, I was still making a little bit of money off of YouTube ads. After 6 months of being laid off and having very sort of sporadic work, my old boss reached out to me and said that the same company I was working for is now looking for a contractor. Would I be open to contracting? And I had to look into what contracting meant. I had no idea really what it was and how to do it, but it's essentially working as a freelancer. You're on sporadic short-term projects for a really high daily rate of pay. You get no security, you get no pension, no benefits. You just get paid tons of money. I needed tons of money. I had to learn all about contracting. Having a middleman handle all the taxes and the boring stuff for you is the easiest way to do it. They do that and they take a little cut or a big cut of what you make. I signed a 1-month contract with them at a £320 per day rate. That's around £6,000 per month, but after the middleman takes their cut and after taxes, I was taking home around £3,000 per month, but that was like gold to me at that point. Towards the end of that month, they proposed another contract and then another contract, and the contract kept coming in month after month. And even though I didn't really have much job security, I was delivering, so they were giving me more contracts. I have been contracting with that same company ever since, for the last 6 months or so. I am now at a stage where I'm really confident in my role. I know what I'm doing. I'm delivering on super impactful projects to do with accessibility for disabilities with web design, so I'm finding it super fulfilling, as well as the money is really good. I'm overseeing everything from the research side to handoff for development, almost entirely self-managed. That's part of being a contractor. You're kind of just expected to know what to do, hit the ground running, and manage your own time, which suits me. On top of that, my YouTube channel grows even more. Although it's super unpredictable, I'm making between £300 and £3,000 per month off of YouTube, brand partnerships and everything. Back to my contracting job, the lack of job security didn't really affect me because I was already made redundant in like the worst way possible. I'm now just really comfortable with going with the flow with the company and seeing what opportunities come up and not knowing what I'm doing till the very last minute. And each time I would get a new contract through, I got comfortable with renegotiating the day rate. So I kept pushing it up and up and up. And I'm not going to disclose my exact salary that I'm on right now because that would be kind of dumb, but I am making between £70,000 and £100,000 per year. But of course, since my contract can end at any moment and they might not give me a new one, I might not work that entire full year. So I could make half that. You know what I mean? I'm very happy with where I am now. I don't know what the future holds. I have been sort of thinking, should I go back to permanent? The contract work really does pay off, so I'm not sure. Who knows what I'll be doing in a year from now. That was my tech career journey. I hope this helps in some way, and I will see you in the next video.